Alan, Waslan, you with the Nasty Pastor, and we're back with another chapter read from out of Ramses, Volume 1, Series 1. We're diving into chapter 19. I hope last week read was understanding. I hope last week read gave you some insight, gave you some nourishment. You feel what I'm saying? Gotten you closer to knowing your ancestors, seeing them with understanding, not seeing, because we wasn't, well, you can't say seeing because you could see through your understanding, but understanding the mistakes that was made, understanding what we gave life. You feel what I'm saying? What value we put in the world. You feel what I'm saying? Values we put in the world. And as I say, we're going to dive into chapter 19. Let me do one thing before we get to diving in. Yeah, it look like this is going to be a long read. So let's buckle up. Let's pay attention. And, I'm going to say it like this lady said it yesterday. She was talking about voting. You get what I'm saying? But I'm going to talk about life. If you don't care about your ancestors, you're not interested in really tapping into this culture, get out of it. Please, leave. I'm not going to hold you to this. Leave. You get what I'm saying? Leave. Point blank period. And I'm really explaining to you. You get what I'm saying? And I'm saying this on a level where that I know the federal government watches my my readings, monitor my posts, monitor my platforms. They will physically kill you in this. You get me? Make the right choices in your life if you're under this Kemetic flag. You understand me? Let me get back into this read. A floppy-eared yellow dog at his side. The traveler had a reed sleeping mat slung over his shoulders. In his left hand, he carried a leather sack for his clothing and sandals. In his right, a walking stick. When they stopped to rest, he spread the mat beneath a tree and slept, with his faithful watchdog to protect him. Prince Ramses had completed the first stage of his journey by boat, the second on foot. Taking narrow roads across river bluffs, he had stopped with villagers he met along the way. He was refreshed to find a peaceful, unchanging world that moved to an ancient cycle of seasons and festivals. Ramses had not told Amunai or Aset the Pharaoh his plans. He wanted to set off alone, like any Egyptian going to visit relatives or look for off-season work on one of the royal construction projects. In certain towns, he took the ferry, sitting with people too poor to own even the most rudimentary boat. Dozens of light crafts, all different sizes, went by in both directions. Some were full of children who stood and jostled one another until they all fell in the river. Then they launched into a furious race. The winter months, the time for recreation and travel, Ramses felt the people of Egypt breathing, joyful and serene in the knowledge that Pharaoh protected them. He heard Seti mentioned with respect to admiration, felt proud to be his son, vowed to live up to the privilege, even if he remained a simple royal scribe, tallying the wheat harvest or registering decrees. On the northern edge of the Fayum, the lush province ruled by Sebek, the crocodile god, lay the royal harem of Meror, a vast complex tended by the finest gardeners in the kingdom with a network of carefully engineered canals. Many consider it the most beautiful domain in Egypt. Elderly ladies left the court and retired here. Surrounded by lovely young women who were brought to train as weavers to study poetry, music, dance. They learned to make gemstone and enamel jewelry. The harem buzzed with constant activity. Before approaching the gates, Ramses changed his simple kilt, put on his sandals, dusted off his dog. When they were presentable, he approached a surely faced guard. I want to pause right there and I want to speak about the kilt. Now, you know, in America, we was looking at it as a dress until Kanye West explained it fully. You feel what I'm saying? Now, this is what I'm gonna explain to you. You know, that is a uniform of the military, a kilt. You understand me? They didn't wear pants. You feel me? They wore like a dress that had a bunch of, like, you know, at the top, really it's a holster dress. You feel what I'm saying? There are things that could hang on that you need in battle. That is a uniform. You feel what I'm saying? Young Ramses was a general in the military. You get me? I'm not going to knock how Kanye West explained it because he gave you the European language of a kilt. You understand what I'm saying? He gave you the European language. I'm going to give you the African language of what I know to be true and exact. That is a uniform. You get me? For the military. I'm here to see a friend. Your letter of introduction, young man. I don't need one. The guard bristled. What makes you think so? I'm Prince Ramses, the son of Seti. A likely story. A king's son who traveled with a retinue. I have my dog. Move along, boy. Enough of your jokes. Now, out of my way. It's an order. His firm tone and commanding gaze took the guard by surprise. Should he throw this impostor out or check on his story? What's your friend's name? Moses. Come on, man. I love it when Moses is relevant in this reading. I love it. I love it. I love it. And look at this. He's going to look for his friend, Moses. Come on, man. Wait here. Watchers sat in the shade of a perseid tree. The air was fragrant. Hundreds of birds flocked in the harems groves. Could life be any sweeter? Ramses. Pushing the guard aside, Moses ran towards Ramses. The friends embraced, then walked through the gate, followed by Watcher, who sniffed longingly at the guard's house kitchen. Moses and Ramses went down a flagstone alley that wound through the sycamores, ending at a broad pond with white lotuses in full bloom. They sat down on a bench made from 3 blocks of limestone. What a wonderful surprise, Ramses. Have you been sent to work here? No, I wanted to see you. You came along without an escort. Does that shock you? No, it's quite encouraging. What have you been up to since we left school? I became a royal scribe, and I was led to believe my father wanted me to be his successor. We should not ever settle for that. It was only a dream, of course, but I was absolutely certain when my father chose a public occasion to put me in my place. I realized how badly mistaken I've been, even so. Go on. We're going to pause this reading right there. And, you know, I really do like it when I hear about Moses and Ramses. You get what I'm saying? And, you know, when you look at the dynamic of their friendship, of their relationship, and what caused it to break up, a lie. You give me a lie that was planted in Kemet, in ancient Egypt, in Africa. You feel what I'm saying? A lie. And I give it to Ramses. You feel what I'm saying? I give it to him because when you're at a position of being a leader, you need to know it all. Know it all. And then when you're sitting here and you know that you are at odds with Jewish culture, but you have Jewish bloodlines at a level of leadership, it makes you wonder, why am I losing? Why? What is getting ready to happen? So let me figure this out and let me get this up out of my of this kingdom I'm leading. You feel what I'm saying? I feel him on that part. How he handled it, I don't feel him on that part. I don't feel he had to, threaten to cut that woman's hand off to get an answer. You feel what I'm saying? Because Moses didn't have all the answers. Yes, Moses was told by the Jews the story of his life, but when you're not, how to put this, when you're not in your culture, learning your culture, how do you know the people that is presenting your culture and your life story to you is telling you the truth? How do you know that? You get me? What made it concrete? You get it? So I say this to you once again, I'm very intrigued of how Moses and Seti was raised, because I want to see the difference. You get me? There's a difference between my brother and I. You get me? He say left, I say right. You get me? He say tomato, I say tomato. You understand me? I get our dynamic because there was something put in place that was supposed to be corrected as a child, as when we was children, that was never corrected. You feel what I'm saying? So when you feel that, okay, it's cool, I can do this and I can do that to him, there's no one putting structure upon the sibling relationship that we should have had. You understand what I'm saying? There's no structure in that. Not no positive structure in any way. You get what I'm saying? So I say this to you again, you know what I mean? Read these books with careful understanding, because believe me, your life in there. Your life is right in there. Everything Ramses and Shinar has that I've read about, I've touched down on that with my brother, with my sibling. With my sibling. I can never say that he'll try to physically take me off this earth, but he'll try to break my arm before. Come on now. For what? Because I say you can't wear my shoes? I say you can't put my clothes on? Come on now. There's something wrong with him, not me. Anywho, anyway, I say this to you once again. You're with the nasty pastor. We just wrapped up part 1 of chapter 19. I'll holler at you next week. I'm out in LA.